How we doing?
How
Welcome
we
to a
doing?
new show with me and my guy Lane. This is something that him and I have talked about for a very long time.
For a
This is going to
while.
be our first episode, and we're out here. We're going to talk about some free agency stuff. Lane, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Just living life, ready for this.
I feel incredible. We don't have any
Yeah,
baseball right now, but the only thing we have to savor in is some NFL football. We got some World Cup
yeah.
right now. But for us, the only thing that we find interesting is MLB free agents because that's what we do around here. So what we're going to do today is I have a list of the top 15 free agents, and we're going to run through every single one of them. We're going to talk about them. We're going to give them some landing spots for them, and we're just going to discuss. So I say
15.
we get into the first one.
You
Now,
want to start?
we
Start
all
at
know,
15?
we all know. No, I'm going to start at one. I'm going to start at one because we got to kick it off in the right fashion. We got to talk about Aaron Judge, man. And I don't want to talk first on this one because you guys all know how I feel about Aaron Judge and where he's going to go. I want to hear from Lane because he's a Red Sox fan who would give me probably a more biased opinion because he's a Red Sox fan, doesn't want to see that guy in the AL East anymore. So, Lane, talk to me about Aaron Judge. Talk to me about where you think he's going, yada, 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 money, all that kind of stuff.
All right. So you probably think I'm going to clown him. First off, this is what I'm going to say. I don't care if he's in the AL East. I do not care. We can go back. From the time I've been alive to now, I've seen a lot more. I'm good. I don't care where he's at in the AL East. I honestly think it's a stupid move for the Yankees to spend more than what they offered him for a guy his age and his size. That's my first off thing. He's 30 years old. What is he? 6'6"?
6'7".
Six, even worse.
6'7",
The body's not
5 of pure mass.
Yeah, but if you have him for 10 years, that last 5 years of his contract are the worst 5 years you're probably going to get out of him and the scariest 5 years. I mean, look at Pujols. Pujols wasn't that big, but look at the decline from 35 to where he is now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was good. People underestimate what he did in LA. I mean, he was still good. He still didn't have all these milestones going into LA. So he still had to do something there. But after his first 5 years of that 12-year contract, whatever it was, so I don't think it's a bad idea the Yankees move on from him. They got a young system. I don't. I do, however, think he goes to San Francisco. I made a video about this before. It kind of makes sense for him. And everybody said the ballpark. You see how big that guy is? He doesn't care about the ballpark. No ballpark can contain that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's 6'7" and swings the golf club like it's a damn driver. He doesn't care. Okay. Where do you think he's going?
So you think he's going to San Francisco?
I think he's going to San Fran.
Right.
I think if they're going to spend.
I think he's staying in New York. And I put a tweet out there about this, about where Aaron Judge's second landing destination would be. It's not going to be the San Francisco Giants. It wouldn't be the Giants. You know who it would be? It would be the Los Angeles Dodgers. That makes so much sense in the world to me. And you know why? They have Trea Turner off the books, who they have to pay, essentially, if they want to bring him back. But they can choose to let that guy walk. Mookie Betts came up as a second baseman. They moved Mookie Betts to second base. Gavin Lux goes to shortstop. There's an open slot in right field, and that's where Aaron Judge can fit in. And that's the one other spot that I could see him going outside of the New York Yankees. I do have a thing with the Giants. The Giants were 81 and 81 last year. The one positive, there's a couple positives with this team. You had Carlos Rodón last year. You put up a career year, and now he's going to get paid. I don't think he stays with the Giants.
No.
You got Logan Webb, who's still an absolute stud. Camilo Duvall is an incredible reliever. Jock Pederson just came back on the QO. He was sick, but this team was downright terrible last year. They were not good at all. And in an NL West that already has the Padres, who are going to get Fernando Tatis back. They already have Manny Machado. They got Juan Soto. Their pitching staff is incredible, and that bullpen was electric in the playoffs. And we already know about the Dodgers and how great they are. So if this San Francisco Giants team, who is old, they are old as hell. They're the oldest team in baseball. If they add Aaron Judge, they're still not better than those other two teams. Unless they go out and make splash after splash after splash, which granted, we've seen teams do it. I don't think they're that much better than those other two teams. And that's why I think that San Francisco will not be as enticing to Aaron Judge as it will with the New York Yankees. I think they decide to kind of run it back this year with the Yankees. I think they bring back their core pieces, including Judge, maybe make a few small additions here and there. But that team's still going to win the division next year. Like, I don't see a world where they don't win the division again next year.
LA?
No, I'm saying the Yankees.
The Yankees.
The Yankees will still win that division next year. So I don't see why, if they want to give him that bag, why is he not going to come back to New York? And I don't think he gets that 10-year deal. I think he gets an 8-year deal. I think he gets like 8 years, 320, 330. I think that 10th year is scary. Even the 9th year is scary. I think a lot of teams are going to be hesitant to give him that deal.
I mean, I think anything past 6 is a little scary with Judge.
Yeah, I agree. But he's
about to be, he'll be 31 next year.
I mean, he just broke the goddamn home run record. You can't really
I get it, but it's not much more up than this. Like he's at the up. Like it's time to go downhill a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect him to come out at 65 next year. I don't expect that. But like, I just still think with him, he's still going to be a productive player into his late 30s. I think he could shift to end up being a designated hitter at some point.
Yeah, he'll lose the power, but he'll shoot the other way, give you what you need.
Like once the staying contract ends, like if he stays with the Yankees, I think he then becomes their full-time DH, and they have a young crop of outfielders that come up and be good. So I think he stays with the Yankees. You think he goes to San Francisco?
I think he goes to California. I could see the Dodgers. Your point makes a lot more sense than just him being from San Francisco area, right outside San Fran.
I just think it makes so much sense, man, with the Dodgers. And like if they let Trey walk,
we know they will go pick up big names. As they have done for years.
Three-headed monster of Judge, Freeman, and Mookie is like all-time historically great.
Yeah, scary.
Like that's never going to happen again. And Freeman could do it, bro. He's a freak. All right, let's move on to the next guy. Jacob deGrom, very polarizing figure. My biggest thing with Jacob deGrom is I'm scared that a team is going to end up paying him an exorbitant amount of money to pitch 8 starts a year. If he gets like a 6-year deal and he throws 8 times a year for you, he's going to be great, but he's not going to be on the field. So I pray for his health, obviously, because he's this decade's probably greatest pitcher. I think he surpassed Clayton Kershaw at this point. But I think he's going to get it back from somebody. Where do you think he goes?
See, everybody's saying Atlanta. I mean, he seemed to show interest in Atlanta. I think I honestly, there's not a team that's wrong for him. I mean, obviously, he wants to play for a contender, but that's a guy. It doesn't matter where he goes. He's your new ace. If he's healthy, he's your new ace. A lot of people said Atlanta. I saw the Yankees were trying to get some medical sheets from him or medical information to see how he is. Don't think that happens. Mets fans still want to see him in New York. I think he's checked out in New York. I think he might go to a division rival. I think the Braves are a good spot for him. Him, Fried, do they get Soroka back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Soroka, I mean, I think he fits right in. He's the new ace. I mean, with Max Fried's your number 2. It's pretty dangerous. Strider too. Yeah, it's a dangerous rotation. Not sure there's a better rotation in baseball.
So you think Atlanta?
Could see Atlanta.
Dig it. I think he goes back to the Mets. But if he does leave, I don't think he goes to the Braves. I think there's another team that we've seen in very recent history been able to buck up money. And this team is, they've got some young guys coming up. They splashed on 2 big superstars last year. And I think this would be a perfect landing spot for one of these starting pitchers. And it wouldn't be any better than to get a guy like Jacob deGrom. And I think it's the Texas Rangers. As we all know, we have their 2 young guys in the minors coming up, Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter, who didn't have great years this year. But I will say, if you bring in Jacob deGrom to be your talisman with these 2 young guys probably coming up in the next 2 to 3 years, that is a recipe for success. And you already have Seager and Simeon in the middle, and this team is so young. And there's going to be a point in time where they're going to be ready to take over that division. So I think he goes back to the Mets. But if he does decide to leave, I think the Texas Rangers are a perfect spot for him.
And let me say, Kumar in person is filthy. I see him throw twice the SEC championship up in Hoover. That guy, he might be better. I think he'll be better than Leiter. Everybody thinks Leiter's going to be better than him. I think Kumar's going to be better than Leiter. The guy's electric. I don't care what happened when he got drafted and went to Indy ball. He didn't want to go back to college. I don't think he could go back to college because the NCAA was so screwed up then. He probably could have now with all the new rule changes, but that guy is filthy. Yeah, I could see deGrom leading both of those 2 to be Cy Young caliber pitchers.
It's bold. I dig it.
I could see it.
I do dig it. All right, next guy, Carlos Correa. Now, I have a perfect spot for him, and it's not him going back to fucking Minnesota because why the hell would he go back to Minnesota?
Just for
they stink. The LeBron contract, I mean, it was cute. Like, it was fun. he still had a very productive year this year. He was a 140 WRC plus guy. We saw a little bit of a drop off with the defense, but I think there's a ton of suitors out here for him. and he might be going out to get that 10-year deal that he was looking for last offseason. Reminder, like, he's still 28 years old. I think that's insane that he's 28 years old, like what he's been able to do so far in his career.
Minnesota was just so random.
Yeah, I never understood it.
No, I think it was just to chase the money the next year. I don't think he cared what happened. He's going to go there, ball out, chase the money the next year.
Because I think the market kind of fell off at a certain extent. Like, he signed really late compared to the rest of these guys. And
everybody thought he was the first one off the board. As soon as the lock ended, boom, he already had a team. Everybody thought that. It's not what happened.
But, like, the market kind of collapsed on him, essentially, and he was like, oh, who can give me the most money? And he went to Minnesota with the opt-outs, of course. So, where do you think this guy's going to go?
I've seen people say Philly, but I know we'll get into another guy later because, he's probably going to end up in Philly if Trea Turner don't end there. This is another guy. We'll talk about him later. Pains me to say this, but I like Philly for him. I mean, if Swanson walks into Atlanta, if Atlanta doesn't go after deGrom, who says they don't replace Swanson with Carlos Correa? I mean, the Cardinals need a shortstop. I mean, I've seen people link Trea Turner to the Cardinals. So I think one of these three shortstops goes to one of those three teams if Swanson doesn't return to Atlanta.
Okay. I have Correa going to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I think Correa going to Philadelphia is the perfect fit for this team. They struggle with defense, right? We already know all about how much they struggle with defense. Gene Segura's off the roster now, so they now have an opening at second base. But what they can do is slide Bryson Stott over to second base. Carlos Correa fills that void at shortstop. His attitude is perfect for Philadelphia. Yeah. He's the perfect Philly dickhead that you want on your team, that the entire city would get behind. Carlos Correa and Bryce Harper as a tandem, like the dickhead brothers, they would be incredible together. And I just think that would be their missing piece. And I think that they could probably run it back next year and go after another championship. We saw what they just did in the playoffs. So I think that Carlos Correa, perfect spot would be Philly. My other spot would be LA. I think if Trea decides to walk in, he would go out to the Dodgers. I think that would be another perfect spot. I saw something about the Yankees yesterday, but they're not going to – that shit's not going to happen.
Why is everybody so hung up on a shortstop in New York?
I just know that shit's not going to happen. Like, if the Yankees wanted to go out and get a shortstop, they would have done it last year. Like, they would have signed Correa last year. That would have happened, but they didn't. So, at this point – they're bringing this shit up. And I'm like, dude, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you got Volpe.
You got Volpe. You got
Peraza. Going to be a dog.
Like, I just don't see the thing with the Yankees. So I like Philly. I like LA. Atlanta, I'm weird on just because I don't think they want to spend their money on a guy that's not homegrown.
Yeah.
That's why.
But why do they do all this contract stuff so they have all this money to spend? So at some point, they're just going to say, screw it. Here it is. This is the missing piece. Nobody's better than us.
They enjoy working in the trade market more than they do in the free agency pool. So I don't know. We'll see. And they love that core that they have there.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
And they've got it for 8 years.
Yeah.
They've got it for like 7, 8 years.
Right. And we'll talk about Dansby obviously in a little bit, but they love that core. And obviously they've been so successful. Like, they won a World Series last year. So I just think they're going to end up running it back with those same guys. I just cannot see them adding a guy like Correa, especially just after playing him in the World Series 2 years ago.
Or if if they're not going to pay Dansby, why pay Correa?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. But let's move on to another shortstop. We have Trea Turner. I know you just mentioned him. I know you want to talk about him a little bit, so I'm going to let you rock with your guy.
Oh, I mean, clearly, to me, I've done shortstop rankings before, past videos. I think he is the best guy all around in the MLB. Don't care what people say about Tatis. Correa's good too. But what he's got versatility. He can do whatever. I could also see him in Philly. He can play the outfield some. Lord knows they need help in the outfield. They need help in the infield. Like, their defense is what struggles. I honestly think he could go over to third base. He can play second base. He can clearly play shortstop. Then again, I want to say the Braves if he doesn't go back to L.A. I think he does go back to L.A. because I think another shortstop goes to Philadelphia, like you were saying. So I think he does go back to L.A. in the long run. But, I mean, he'd be good for just about any team because of the versatility. And I think he's the top dog at his position. I mean, he hits for power on random weeks, and then next time he's just knocking down the wall and hitting triples left and right. Plays defense well. I mean, I think he'd suit any team, but ultimately I think he goes back to L.A.
St. Louis Cardinals. I think that is the
I did
one
say them
guy.
early. I did say them earlier that they were linked to him. I meant to mention that. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the one guy that they splash on because they don't splash on anybody. Remember, they were in the Soto sweepstakes for so long and they just never did it.
And they
like,
need
granted,
somebody with Arenado.
Like, they have Mason Wynn coming up, sure, but like, dude, this is Trea Turner we're talking about, man. Trea Turner plays Cardinals baseball. Trea Turner plays Cardinals baseball. He swipes bags. He hits for contact. He plays great defense. He plays everywhere. I just think he's just like such a perfect fit out there.
No, and I mentioned earlier, I don't know how I forgot about them. I mean, slide him over to second if Mason Wynn's that good. Put him at second.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Flip him. Put him in the outfield. Trea Turner's not going to care.
No, and he's played center field before.
But they got rid of Bader, so now you got places you can fill him in if you need to. I mean, he's worth the money.
So, but at the end of the day, I do think he goes back to the Dodgers. Like, I think that the Cardinals would be the perfect spot for him, but I think he does go back to the Dodgers.
I can't even forget about the Cardinals. I just mentioned him.
Yeah, that's like, I just think that's like a match made in heaven. But like, I just don't see LA giving him up, man. Like, that's their guy, and I don't know. We'll see with him. It's confusing, but like, I think he goes back, dude.
Yeah.
So next guy, I know you've been alluding to this. I already can probably assume what your answer is, and I know this one is going to break your goddamn heart. So, talk to me
going
about
to Philly.
Bogey. You think Bogey's going to Philly?
He's going to Philly. I think that's. I mean, I've said the other two guys are good for Philly, but it's Dave Dombrowski. He was a GM before. He's been in talks with Dave Dombrowski. Like, that's been a known thing that he's still talks with him. I mean, he came up with them in his minors. Rookie year, they won the World Series in 2013 with the whole Boston Strong thing. I mean, he was kind of the guy that stepped up how Pedroia did in 2007. It was kind of the same thing, just handed the torch down to Xander Bogaerts. But I don't think you know this. I have no faith in Chaim Bloom. Zero, done, lost it. I don't care. He's gonna have to make some big moves this offseason. The only way I'll regain faith is if he retains Bogaerts. Don't see it happening. See him going to Philly, back with Dave Dombrowski, and that pains me to say that.
Dude, I just can't see it. I just can't see it to save my life, brother.
That's all I'm seeing.
And like, trust me, I would love to see it. I would love to see him walk because I hate that guy, but I think he stays. Like, as much as like as dumb as that sounds, I think he stays. Like, a lot of people are saying that like that bridge is burnt, like whatever. Dude,
it's
like,
gone.
I think his market is so weird because like he's a guy.
He's older too.
They're getting rid of the shift. Right. And if you look at like positionally where you line up, how you are like successful as a defender, he's way better at third base when he's lined up like as a third baseman or a second baseman. When he's at shortstop, he's like dog. So like, mind you, his defense was great this year, like as compared to what he's done. Right. But it's because they were shifting a lot more and they were putting him in different positions. So I just think he goes back to Boston, man. I just think like,
I do think it'd be smart though.
The Philly thing is weird because like with Dombrowski, like
I'm just going all off of Dombrowski spending money and the relationship that they still have.
Right.
I want him in Boston. I mean, that's clearly I want to see him in Boston, but
I don't know where to put him. I don't think he gets a long deal. I think he gets like a 5-6 year deal. He's not going to get like a big boy contract like some of these other guys are.
And I think that's all he's asking for. And Chaim doesn't want to do it. I really don't think he wants to.
I don't know, man. I think he's going to go back to Boston.
If he doesn't, I'm not going to understand it because what do you do with Devers? If you don't sign Bogaerts, it's kind of like saying, oh, we're really going to pay Devers now? Devers has asked them to keep him in Boston. They have to keep him in Boston. I mean, trust me, there's nobody else in this free agent market I want to see signed to a team than Xander to Boston. I could care less about anything else because this guy has been there from the jump. He's seen bad teams. He's seen good teams. He's a leader. I don't care about the defense. I've said this in many videos before. When the guy consistently hits over 300 and he just hits 35, 40 doubles a year, I'll take that any day of the week. I do not care. I was always told if you can hit, you're in the lineup. And that's exactly why he's there. He's a leader and he's in the lineup. I don't care about his defense. I really don't care. At the end of the day, I sit down and I watch 90% of Red Sox games a year, and I can't count on my hands how many games he's costed us. So I don't care about it.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Xander Bogaerts, and I'm a Yankees fan. Like, I love watching him play. He just absolutely rakes. One other team that I do want to mention that I haven't, surprisingly enough, is the Chicago Cubs, who have apparently been very active in the shortstop market. And everybody talks about Nico Horner. Nico Horner is sick. Like, don't get me wrong, but you can slide Nico Horner to second base or finally make Xander move to second base because of the defense, which I thought you guys should have done this year, even though Story's got the elbow thing or whatever. But, like, from the Boston perspective, you guys just committed a shit ton of money to Trevor Story over the next 5 years. What's he getting? $30 million a year,
something
right?
like that,
which is like insane.
It's
you guys still have to pay
now.
Devers. Like, this isn't a team that I think is dog shit. Like, I think the Red Sox could come out this year, make a couple preliminary signings, get back Xander, pay Rafi Devers, and like be okay again. Like, I just don't see a world where this team is going to be shit for forever.
This team is either completely at the bottom or completely at the top. There is no in between for the Sox.
I just think it's a blip. Like, in all honesty, I don't think the Red Sox are that bad to the point where they should just tank.
Let's put it this way.
Like, let him walk.
From when I can remember watching baseball, I've seen them in the postseason once. No, now twice, where they didn't win the World Series. And now they didn't even make the postseason. It was either postseason or no postseason or World Series.
Which is, like, insane.
Yeah. So they got to do, like, just keep it how it is. That's just how the team is. Just get a couple good things, re-sign who you got. You got Cassis coming up, Bayo coming up. Build around those young guys. You got them for a while before you got to pay them. The next 4 years, you should be sold. Give Xander a 4-year deal. I know he'll take it if you give him the right amount of money.
Yeah. Okay. Next guy, Justin Verlander. I think this is a guy that's market like stinks. Like, I just don't understand the thing. Apparently, he's looking for an upwards of $30 million a year. I don't know if he wants one of these 1-year deals again, because I just think he wants to get paid. He's 39 goddamn years old, but he's still twirling. Like, he just won a Cy Young, and he's still, running 97, 98 with a killer breaking ball. Yeah. What do you think this guy's market's like? Because I honestly cannot seem to figure it out.
Honestly, I saw some of his interviews. I don't think he's even opposed to retiring. I really don't. So I think it's Houston or retire. Like, I don't think anybody else really pays him what he wants. I don't think he's going to settle for anything less because of the injury a year ago, 2020, whatever it was, when he tore his UCL. But I think he goes back to Houston. I mean, clearly that's got to be Houston's guy now. Like, I don't think Houston's worried about anything. They're bringing 19 guys back. I think they say, screw it. We'll commit to him for this long. I mean, if he gives us one more good year out of a 3-year deal, 2-year deal that he wants, give the guy what he wants. He just brought us another championship. I think it's Houston. I mean, I don't think he leaves. I mean, I don't see anybody else committing to him. It's kind of like a Jacob deGrom deal if Jacob deGrom was on the verge of retirement.
Yeah, and granted, like with Houston, they didn't have him for the entirety of the 2021 season, and they still went to the World Series. Like, that's how good their pitching staff is now.
So what's it hurt? Yeah.
Christian Javier has emerged into this. I think he could be an ace in this league at some point in time. That's how nasty his stuff is.
I'm sure you do.
All right, yeah, all right, buddy. But he's like just an absolute freak. And like, I think that if they lose Verlander, I don't think they lose a step. I still think they're going to be incredible. I still think they're going to be the best team in baseball by a solid margin. But I think there are 2 teams that will be willing to splash that kind of money at him. I'm going to go 3. I think there's 3 teams that will be willing to splash that kind of money at him. And it all depends on what happens with them this offseason. But there's one team that's dumb enough to do it, and it would be the Yankees. I think the Yankees would probably
perfect Yankee signing.
They would throw a 2-year $60 million deal at a 39-year-old man, and he would get hurt the following year. But like, that's something that I think the Yankees would end up doing just to be dumb, right? I think the Mets could do it. The Mets could do it if they lose deGrom, because like at that point they need either a 1 or a 2 with Scherzer, and you reunite the Detroit Tiger boys and like just let it rock.
I forgot about the Detroit Tiger thing, but I was also thinking they already signed a 39-year-old Max Scherzer. What's a 39-year-old Justin Verlander?
And I don't think
a Scherzer that wasn't healthy all year long.
No, Cohen's not scared of that shit, man. Like, he will do that. He does not care.
He's going to spend $1 billion.
The other team would be the Dodgers, just because, they like to splash money too. I think it's like, it's between the 4 teams and, obviously going back to Houston and the 3 that are always willing to splash cash on just about fucking anybody.
Cohen's going to rage, and watch. Just come out of nowhere. Take Judge. Take everybody. Take them all. Give me them all.
That's what I said too. I was like, it's real funny, It was real funny when they got knocked out, but I was like, dude, like, it's scary shit. Like, this guy's going to I
feel like he makes it seem like he's got a money tree in the clubhouse. Like, you want $1 billion? That's fine.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm scared.
Yeah. Speaking of Steve Cohen, I think he brings this guy back. It's Brandon Nimmo. I just think his market is going to be so diminished to the point of, with these like other subsidiary outfielders that we're going to see sign, I just think Nimmo goes back to the Mets. I think he's just like
kind of like spot for him. Yeah, it's kind of like the epitome of a Met.
Right. Yeah. Like, I don't think you want to move Starling Marte back to center field. Like, I just don't think you want to do that unless they sign Aaron Judge. Unless they sign Aaron Judge and he can play center field.
Yeah.
I don't think Nimmo goes anywhere. But then if Nimmo leaves, I think the Yankees could get Nimmo. Because then they
a little swap. Yeah.
You know, so but again, I just don't see that shit happening. I think if Aaron Judge would leave, it wouldn't be going to the Mets. So I just think Nimmo is like
I like Nimmo though.
I'm trying to think of another team for Nimmo. I mean, I could see the Rockies splashing on Brandon Nimmo.
It'd be somewhere like you're not thinking of, then kind of think about it. It's like, that makes sense.
Rockies. I think Dodgers could be in play. I think the Giants.
It'd be somewhere that just like it's somebody random, and then all of a sudden it's gonna like he's gonna flourish there and be like, yeah, now it makes sense. Like he fit right in.
I also like the Giants. I think would be a perfect spot for him. You know, I think he could be their everyday
Giants with Judge. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Get a little Nimmo Judge Jock outfield. That's kind of sick.
Yeah.
That would be kind of sick. Still not a playoff team though. Just still playoff team, but like still not even top 2 in your division.
They ain't gonna get back to the even year days.
I just like I'm gonna be honest. I don't get it.
No.
I do not get it. I do not get the Giants thing. Like the hometown thing makes sense with Judge, but like, dude, they're not good. The Giants are not a good baseball team. I don't know. We'll see. Clip this, and then when they go fucking 96 and whatever next year,
they win the World Series next year.
Yeah, they're gonna win the World Series next year. And I'm like, oh, they're a terrible baseball team. I'm gonna end up on one of those like
freezing cold takes.
The hype tapes, like the Giants will post it
with
in
Ben
their
Verlander
postseason hype
the
tape.
Yankees.
Yeah, that'll be me right here, being like the Giants are not good. They're gonna make fuck playoffs. But yeah, dude, Nimmo's market is weird. I think the Angels could go. Yeah, no, I don't know. Not
Angels,
after the
Angels
not after the Renfroe thing yesterday. I don't think anymore.
You forgot about Renfroe. Now they got 2 Mike Trouts.
You know, yeah, they
got
did.
Walmart Mike Trout.
That is
and
fucking weird.
Walmart
that is fucking weird, bro.
Publix Mike Trout.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the weirdest shit ever. All right, moving on back over to another pitcher. We have Carlos Rodón. Speaking of the Giants, wow, it's like we're like working in a circle right now. These transitions are smooth as shit. Carlos Rodón pretty much had a career year last year. Everybody was worried about him. He had the elbow soreness thing 2 years ago with the White Sox, but he was incredible when he was on the field.
Yeah.
Giants this year, incredible, lights out yet again. It could have been. I think he finished top 10 in Cy Young voting, which is pretty sick. But again, this is a guy that I think is going to get a longer-term extension now, just because I think everybody was scared of the health. A spot that I could see him is Texas, because we just talked about him with Jacob deGrom. Back to the Giants because money. And I'm trying to think the Mets. I think the Mets would be another great landing spot if they get Jacob deGrom. You know?
If he leaves, you mean? If deGrom leaves?
Yeah, if he leaves.
All right. This is not really anything based off of performance, but he's got a camo glove. Texas just seems right.
See, that's hot.
You've never seen the Rawlings camo he's got?
No.
It's like real tree camo.
That's sexy.
Yeah, you got to pull it up after this.
Oh,
but
yeah, I'm gonna pull it up.
It just fits Texas.
The camo, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's just off a glove. But, I mean, Mets, good landing spot. deGrom leaves, which, like I said, I think deGrom leaves. So I think these pitchers are going to flock to New York because I think Cohen's going to rage spin when his ace leaves. They got bounced by a team that they shouldn't have. Got embarrassed by a team they shouldn't have. But, I mean, the Giants are willing to spend money, so I think they saw what he did. I think if they really think they can get Judge, they bring him back.
I think Chicago's another one, too. I mean, like, Chicago, like, their pitching is god-awful. You know,
I think the Cubs seem like they're going to make a splash. I don't know if they really will.
I mean, we said the same thing about him last year, but then they tossed in $72 million at Marcus Stroman, and he stinks. So,
he only pitched like 8 games.
And he had like a 5.2 ERA.
Yeah.
Like, he was really bad. Like, so I think the Cubs could, again, make another splash.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I think Carlos Rodón it's a match made in heaven for him to go back to San Francisco. If they want to compete and spend this money, I think they have to do that. I said the same thing about Jock. Like if Jock didn't accept that QO, I think they would have been fucked. Because with Jock, you need that guy. He was your best player best bat by a long shot last year. And if they didn't bring him back, they would have been even more screwed. You know, so good for them for getting him on the QO, which I'm honestly surprised about, to be honest.
I think he just likes it there.
Like, Jock, the thing with Jock is, though, man, is like Jock has never had a long-term extension. He's never been on a long-term deal, like post-ARB. You know, he's bounced around a couple spots. He went to Chicago. He went to Atlanta. Now he's in San Francisco. But, like, never got that big payday. And I thought he was going to do it this year. But I guess not, man. I guess not. We're just gonna have to wait till offseason for that guy. Moving on to the next guy, Dansby Swanson, Atlanta, such a Brave.
Yeah,
he's not going.
I don't see how. I don't think they do. I think they saw what happened with Freddie, whether that was on their end or on Freddie's end. I don't think they let something like that happen again. I mean, this is where this is where he wants to play. I mean, I think if I recall right, he's got a brand that's based from Atlanta culture. If it might be him, or he might endorse it, whatever. But he's big on Atlanta. Like, that's his place. He likes Georgia. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, match made in heaven. I don't think they make the mistake twice. I think Dansby stays Brave.
No, and I also don't think that like Dansby's on the same level of player as Freddie Freeman is. Like, respect to Dansby Swanson.
No,
no.
You know,
respect to Dansby Swanson. But like, I don't see him walking and then going out and paying a guy. You know, like we saw what happened with them last year. They went
and paid Olsen.
They traded for Matt Olson and then extended him.
Yeah.
You know, so like I don't see them doing that unless it's via trade. And then I don't think any of these shortstops get traded this offseason. I think they're all going to sign as free agents.
And Dansby's probably say third or even fourth on the list of shortstops available right now.
I think he's probably 4.
Yeah.
I think you would
Xander's bat holds him up.
You would put like however you want to rank Correa and Trea, Xander, and then Dansby.
Yeah.
And I think they get him at a bit of a discount too. You know, just because
And he's solid too. Like, get him for the right price.
Oh, yeah.
It's honestly, it could turn out to be a better deal than some of these bigger guys you're going to throw $400 million at.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
dude had a 6.4 F4 this year. He was incredible defensively, like for the first time.
3 straight seasons of 25 bombs. I mean,
like, he just hits. He plays defense. He's a great leader. Like, you got to retain this guy if you're Atlanta.
3 straight seasons, he's hit 25 bombs now.
Right. And I just think, like, you get him for another 6 years, you know, and I just think it's going to be way cheaper than the rest
going
of the
out
market would sign him for, you know, unless they just straight up say no. Then I think he goes out and could probably get a bag from Chicago. I think Chicago would be another spot. So Dansby, just such a Brave. Like, I just don't see him going anywhere.
He is Brave.
Okay, this is an interesting one because this guy, I think he goes to a division rival, but it just feels so wrong. It's Wilson Contreras. I just feel like he goes to a division rival so bad. He didn't get that at the deadline. I thought he was 1,000% a New York Met. I was like, lock it in. Apparently there was a deal with Houston for him to go to the Houston Astros and go be on the team that was the eventual World Series champions. But apparently they shut it down. They didn't want it to happen. So Wilson Contreras, I think it's between 2 teams. They're in the same goddamn division. Yeah. Chicago, obviously, if he goes back to Chicago. And then St. Louis. It's so weird for me to say, you know, just because of Yachty. And I think they would love Wilson Contreras' bat. He had a great first half last year, kind of fell off a little bit in the second half. And I just think that he would be absolutely perfect for them. What do you think about this guy?
I was about to say, let me ask you this. If they didn't trade him at the deadline, like everybody, but I guess the Chicago Cubs already had planned, why would they not have made a deal go through just to let him walk? That's what I've always said. I don't want to say this. Like, it's like somebody, like, I guess if you got a guy on a free agents list, you're not gonna, and you know he's gonna walk. He can't give you a definite answer. You trade him. Get something. Yeah. Don't let him play for a team that's not contending, and then get nothing in return. I don't care if you get a low end prospect. What if that guy comes out to be a star? Like the Trey Mancini thing. Trey couldn't give Baltimore a solid answer. He was asked, couldn't give him a solid answer. They're like, that's fine. They'd rather get something in return, whether it's very little, than get nothing in return and just see him walk away.
Right.
So
the deal with Houston was for Jose Urquidy, and Houston didn't want to give up Jose Urquidy, which is crazy. Like, Jose Urquidy is not this dude that I'm like trading for Wilson Contreras. You know, like that's the thing, man. It's like that was just super goddamn weird to me. But I think, you're right. If they would have dealt him, they would have already done it.
His value too. I don't think you let a guy that value stay for a team that's not making the postseason just to let him walk and get nothing in return.
Yeah. He's not an incredible defender. I don't think he's going to catch for forever. You know, I think he's probably got another 3 to 4 years behind the dish. Maybe it'll probably convert into a DH. But And then at that point, you're looking at teams that just straight up need offense. And then I'm like looking at Milwaukee, but like
Yeah.
Milwaukee like hates their goddamn team because they just
Yeah.
traded Renfro for a bag of peanuts. So like I just don't. I just think
Contreras to
St. Louis,
Milwaukee.
dude, that would be even worse. That would be even worse. Could you imagine Brant King's reaction?
Oh, I know. I was just thinking. I'm thinking about this whole conversation. That's all I've been thinking about.
If Wilson Contreras goes to the Milwaukee Brewers, I don't know what that guy would do. I don't know what that guy would do. He would be heartbroken. Like, that'd be worse than the Cardinals, I think, to be honest with you.
Probably. I think he'd rather.
Yeah, it would be weird for sure.
At least St. Louis is a baseball town. He'd be happy he's going to a baseball town again.
Yeah, but I don't know if he would be necessarily happy.
Over Milwaukee? If it was between Milwaukee and St. Louis, he's 100% wants that man in St. Louis.
Yeah, but, like, that's the best team there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's the best team in the division, like, by far. Like, I just don't see it. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't see him leaving, though. Like, I still don't see him leaving.
Yeah, I don't
like
see
I
him
said,
leaving.
you didn't trade him for the value he's worth to let him walk for free.
And they're not going to be bad.
No.
Like,
no.
They're going to be okay. And if they, like, make a splash like we think they are, I think they're going to be a decent enough team to maybe compete just because that division is so goddamn weak.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's weird with Contreras. But let's move on to another guy who I think also stays put. I think there was a market for him on another team, but, like, they shut that window yesterday. Andrew Benintendi is such a Yankee.
Yeah,
it's
I hate to say it.
fun. Like, I absolutely love him.
I got no hope for a reunion in Boston because Heim was very quick to ship him off. So,
yeah, which I never got. You know, I like honestly never understood that.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm at a loss for words still.
Yeah,
just bought a brand new jersey, got shipped off.
That shit's unreal.
Love it.
That shit's unreal. But like with Benintendi, I think, you know, when I look at the landscape of the Yankees, I've always said that guys like Andrew Benintendi and DJ LeMahieu are like the most important for that roster.
Yeah.
The reason why they're the most important for that roster is because this is a team full of sluggers. And you need table setters like DJ LeMahieu who can set the table for you, get on base at a high clip, hit for high contact. And when you come into the playoffs, like you did against Houston, when you cannot get a single bat on ball whatsoever, you need guys like those two. And I think that Benintendi is a complete switch up from Joey Gallo. He's a guy that all he does is make contact. Joey Gallo couldn't make contact for shit. And Joey Gallo played awful defense as a Yankee, and Benintendi played good defense as a Yankee. Yep. So it's like, I just think Benintendi's so perfect for the Yankees, and I think he'll probably get another, 4 years with the team. I think that's like
kind of like he's kind of like an Ellsbury.
Pretty much.
But
like before Yankees.
You know? Oh, well, yeah, obviously. I'm saying like that's kind of who I've always compared him to.
Dick. That guy. So I will always remember like the pain in the ass I got from him when he walked out for Pedroia's like ceremony in 2019. You remember that?
Yeah.
He walked out in the Red Sox shirts. He was still under contract with the Yankees, and they were playing the Yankees. Like that is brutal. That is so fucking bad. I have never imagined that shit happen ever again. That's unreal. All right, last guy, Kenley Jansen. I think this guy's market is weird because I feel like there are a lot of teams that could use an incredible reliever. Atlanta could bring him back, but they have studs all up and down the pen. They just traded for Rizal. Like I think that's insane. So the one place that I think that he goes, and I think that this team is in need of a closer so bad, and I think they missed him so much this year, I think he's going back to LA. Yeah. I think he's going back to LA. Like they needed bullpen depth so bad, and that was their guy for so long. And he proved it again this year that he's still one of the elite closers in baseball.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't count out a reunion with Atlanta, but I just think that LA could use him so bad right now.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect.
I mean, there's a lot of teams could use a good closer. I know one up there in the New England region, but I don't want to see them spend on him.
I just I don't think you guys will be able to compete enough.
I don't think we spend any money this offseason.
You don't like Whitlock? I think Whitlock should be the closer.
They want to start him.
I think that's so dumb.
He's going to be a starter.
I think that's so dumb. I've had this argument with Red Sox fans, and they try to tell me that he should be a starter. And I just think, like, that's your lights out guy. Garrett Whitlock is your lights out guy. Use him as your fucking closer. That is so dumb to me.
he doesn't go past the fourth inning. Why is he a starter? I went to his first ever start. He was no hitting a team through 46 pitches in or whatever it was. They pull him.
It's because they use him as like an opener, which is like so dumb.
It's his first ever start, and he's only been in the bigs a little while. Fine. Yeah. Whatever you want to say. He was at 46 pitches, completely stupid. In the fourth inning, done with 4 innings, I should say, at 46 pitches. Perfectly, that's an excellent pace. 8 starts later, fourth inning, 56 pitches, no runs. They pull him again. Like, he's 8 starts in at this point or so. I mean, this is months later down the road in like July, whatever. He got back from injury or whatever it was. Nothing for his arm. It's like hamstring injuries or whatever, and they pull him at 56 pitches. If you're not going to use him as a starter, and I've said this since the time they put him in the rotation, why is he a starter? Use him for 6 good innings like you do a starter.
He's just way better than like a middle guy. Like, they literally pitch him like a middle guy. Like, he can go 3, sure, but like I would rather save that for the end of the game. Like, I would much rather save that for the end of the game. If you have to, bring him in the 8th. You know, like, do whatever.
If you're going to make him a hybrid starter and closer, do it 7, 8, 9. Make that his type of starting role.
Yeah, make him middle relief to close.
Yeah.
You know, like, don't have him go 1 to 4. I think that shit's so dumb.
Yeah.
I've never understood that.
What's he going to do? Set up Ryan Brazier now that we gave him a deal?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
you know.
Come on, Brazier.
Joely Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Joely Rodriguez.
Like,
dude, Yankees legend, Joely Rodriguez.
Yeah. There's a lot of teams that could use the closer.
Yeah, absolutely. I would take Joely Rodriguez for sure.
I'm talking about Kenley.
Oh, I was talking about Joely Rodriguez. I want Tommy Kenley to come back to the Yankees.
Yeah.
He's sick. Yeah. All right. I think that's going to do it.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the first episode of our new podcast that does not have a name yet, and we have really cute Mother's Day hats that we're matching with. You can't really see mine because my ring light's bright as shit. This is going to go on my YouTube channel. So if you guys are seeing this and you're still here, please drop subscribe. This shit will get rebranded into a whole new goddamn thing. Please like, comment, drop your predictions down below, people. We want to hear what you guys have to say. Trust me. And trust me, right now with free agency, I'm happy. You can see the board in the back right there, because Rizzo did indeed make me Jizzo about a week ago. So we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
See you.